Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about a subject matter that I've discussed before, and it'll be my first time doing so, like a repeat. However, it's even though it's the same person, it's a totally different subject matter. And this time I'm revisiting Neil Diamond. Okay, I'm revisiting Neil Diamond not because I'm infatuated with him or anything like that. No. There's two reasons. Number one, that video I made earlier this year, it was called, and it had a clickbait type of title. It was Neil Diamond hates his casual fan base. That one is probably my most popular video, in a sense, the most watched. And if you look at it, it's not many viewers at all, but it is my most watched so far. Although I have a couple others that are closing in. Number two, I recently got this. It's called Neil Diamond Play Me, his uni recordings, his complete uni studio recordings. So this is essentially a 3 CD set containing all six, I believe six albums from his Universal Studio or his MCA records before he moved to Columbia Sony. And this came obviously after his Bang years. So his original Bang years, Solitary Man, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, so I was able to pick this up, and what I wanted to do was basically listen to his albums, all his albums, or as much as I can. And mainly because I want to get away from compilation stuff. And that's how I kind of got into Neil Diamond, was his compilation, and that's what my previous video was basically complaining about. So I'm just going through his albums. I'm including his live albums as well. Live albums that were made for, you know, produced for the consumers. And first thing I've noticed, Neil Diamond's really a singles guy. In a sense that all of his albums I've listened to. I've listened to his Bang years, and then obviously the uni recordings I've showed, as well as some other albums, and I'll bring it up. This is his uni too, but I got this, and then stuff like this. On the Way to the Sky, Headed for the Future. Now I got these records because I had to. It came out to be less than $1, but I had to buy a bunch of them, and I really wanted one Neil Diamond record. But I got all these others, and what the heck, listen to it. And then I've listened to majority of others online. I've also got his studio albums. Let me bring it up. So I got Hot August Night somewhere else. I have it. I got his Hot August Night 2. Hot August Night 3, I've listened to it before. I don't have it because I thought it sucked. I got it from the library. Also got Love at the Greek. Got this one as well. It's double vinyl. And I'm pretty much going to say that his live albums are okay. His regular studio albums, say maybe one of his Bang records that had quite a bit of hits on it, he's not really a good like album artist. And when you think of album artists, the prime example, the one you really want to compare to, are the Beatles, right? And it's tough to compare to Beatles. Anyone can't, you know, it's really tough to compare Beatles in general. But when you think about the Beatles, right, you don't really want to get their like greatest hits because you need to get all their albums. It's pretty much you get their albums. Their albums are excellent, right? Same for like, you know, people like Moody Blues. You get their 7 albums. It's kind of their known take. You know, Rolling Stones to a certain extent, Led Zeppelin. You know, those artists. You know, you like to get their albums, right? Elton John is a great example too. So to me they're like or Chicago. They're album centric. I wouldn't say album centric. Everyone creates albums, but the artists I just mentioned, their albums are excellent. They're well thought out. They have hits here or there, and or deep cuts are good as well. Neil Diamond, if they're not a hit single on his any of his albums, the rest kind of suck. I mean, they really are just either singles or suck. And most of Neil Diamond put out quite a bit of albums, and like I mentioned, they're not that good outside of his hit singles. So that's the number one I've noticed. Neil Diamond's really a singles guy, kind of like Cher. I made a video. One of my early videos was about Cher being a singles compilation diva, and I explained why. Neil Diamond's kind of like that too. Okay, he's really a singles guy, and you just compile his hit singles and then put in compilation. But then, as my other video mentioned, add some crappy live versions of his hit singles as well, and that's how you piss people off like myself. But anyway, so he's a singles guy. Number two, I really, really believe his bang years and majority of his uni years are his peak years. Anything his uni years, his later years on to his Columbia, and then all the way to like his Melody Road and whatever album he put out between or maybe after. I think Melody Road was in 2013, 2014, around there. They've been pretty much ass. There's no other way to put it. It's just they're not good at all whatsoever. Even, I don't know, die hardcore Neil Diamond fans gonna like it or not, but they just suck. Really, his bang years, and in, I'd say, first half of his uni years. His first half of his uni years still sound quite a bit like his bang years, and I think most of his hits were from there, but his later uni years and on, just, yeah, you get a minor hit, or I wouldn't say minor, you get some hits here and there, but that's pretty much it. So number two. Number three, I've also noticed, and this is in his uni years. Let me get that out. Hope I didn't drop it. Oh, here we go. So back to his uni years, 6 albums again on MCA. You kind of notice, well, not you, but me. I've kind of noticed that his music, his sound started to change a bit, and I don't know how to explain it. I'll try to explain it in my terms, but hopefully you might get it. It got more polished, or polished in a sense from a production standpoint. And when I mean production, two things. Obviously, the producers producing the records, right? Number one. Number two, the sound itself, the instrumentation, the musician, I wouldn't say musicianship, but just how things are being played. I think it's more polished or polished in a sense, more overproduced, whereas his earlier years, his bang years, and his early part of his uni years, it's a bit more raw, more, you know, best way I could put it is just more raw, more direct. Whereas his middle of his uni years on, it's more produced to a point where it sounds softer or sounds more towards the audience. And his music also changed quite a bit too. Instead of more of his bang years, is more of his rock stuff, Solitary Man, you know, Cherry Cherry, you know, that kind of thing. It got more, I don't know, kind of light rockish than rock or something. So that also changed too. His music changed quite a bit. So that's what I've noticed and listening throughout. Having said that, even he's a singles guy or something, there is one album I definitely recommend. Whether you're a Neil Diamond fan or not, or just want to get into Neil Diamond, this album I'm recommending, I consider it's a live album, number one. Number two, it's his best live album. And number three, It's his best album, period. Okay, when I mean his best album, studio albums or live albums that were made to be, I'm gonna remove compilation albums, even though live albums are technically speaking, greatest hits compilation albums, but they're not what you call like studio produced compilation. This is like, it's a live for the audience and just happens to have his hits, right? So this is the album I'm talking about. And you probably would already guess if you're a Neil Diamond fan. It's called Neil Diamond Gold. So it's a compilation album, but it's not. It's a live album, and it's live at the Troubadour in Hollywood. Damn, this is good. This is good. It's so good. I want to show you this. I also got I got both the vinyl and the CD. So this album kicks ass. I mean, when I heard this first time, I'm like, damn, this is the Neil Diamond I want to hear. And yes, it's live. It's not studio. And I complained in my other video about the live stuff, but the live stuff they put in all the compilations outside of this one, this uni one. This one's kind of unique. This uni one has bonus tracks. It has 3 from live at the Troubadour, and then 3 or 4 from Hot August Night. Hot August Night is the live album everyone kind of associates to Neil Diamond. That's supposedly his best live album and one of his top albums. That album is good, but it's nowhere near this. And if you listen to this right off the bat, when you first hear the 3 songs on here, and then it goes into Hot August Night, you can kind of tell it's, first of all, it's a different sound, and second of all, this rocks. This rocks. The other 3 from or 4 from Hot August Night is more, kind of more for the crowd, more. I don't know what's the right term for it, but it's slower style of everything. Where this is, and this is what I want to get at. This is as raw and rock I've ever heard of Neil Diamond. Even from his studio stuff, this one comes out just ass kicking. This is unbelievable. After hearing this, I kind of wish Neil Diamond kept going this route. And I know the 70s, especially mid 70s on, kind of changed. The musical styles changed and everything kind of changed, and he changed with it for the better, I guess, because that's when he started to really pick up gaining audience, his fans. But damn, this sound is just freaking awesome. And the very first song on here, Lordy, it's not on any studio album at all that at least I've heard of. It's only on this Gold live album. And listen to it. Damn, the first track on here, when it opens, that one just shook me. This is like, man, I never heard Neil Diamond like this, even from a studio side. It is rock. It is rock and roll, live, small venue. I think it's smaller than his Hot August Night venue. And damn, I mean, he's just like, kind of like the album I mentioned with Donny Hathaway. He's just pouring his heart and soul. You can tell there's no suppression of anything. He's just going all out, rocking, and you could tell later on his voice is kind of starting to crack or kind of wear down. But damn, he's just going, and the instruments, all the artists that were supporting him on here were doing their job too. It was just excellent. I mean, I like some of these versions over the studio versions myself. That's how good they are. And this is his first live album. 1970, I think, came out. 71 on MCA. And so it includes all the songs that I like from him. His peak years, I consider. His bang years and his early uni years are pretty much on. He sings all that, and man, he really rocks with it. He rocks it more than his studio. And this is probably the only time you'll ever hear, and for sure I've only heard of Neil Diamond rocking like this. This is like a rocking, not a country, not a soft rock. This is rocking. Like, unbelievable. And I don't think I've ever heard of Neil Diamond before or after like this. And to me, I loved every bit of this. Because of that, this is his best, not only his best live album. This, to me, I prefer this over Hot August Night and anything that came after Hot August Night 2, 3, Live at the Greek, whatever. What other albums, live albums he have? This is the best one. Not only that, as an album, and this was released as an album. This is his best album, hands down. Hands down. Better than his Bang Years, even though I really like his Bang Years. And that's what I'm missing in my collection. His 1966 to 68, I would love to get that. That's probably my final thing to complete my Neil Diamond collection, if anything. But his Bang Years and his Uni Years, and then everything else that came after Columbia, like I said, from I'd say his Columbia years on, outside of like Forever and Blue Jeans, or I do like Heartlight. I don't know why. That's kind of my favorite Neil Diamond later years song. And then Yesterday songs, which I have on that album I showed. And that album only has Yesterday songs. Everything else is just ass. That whole album is just total ass. But again, everything from there on out to me is just ass. This is the album to get. This is his best live album, his best album period. And if you if you needed to get just one Neil Diamond album to take with you, and you're forced to take one to to a a remote island or something like that, you won't regret this at all. You will not regret this. I know Neil Diamond fans are going to get me again on this. Who cares? I'm just calling it as as I see it. All right, this is it. All right, give this a shot if you never listened to it. Worth it. The whole album's great, and especially Lordy. That song you can't get anywhere. I don't even think he had a studio version of it, at least that I know of. It's only on this album, and that's just damn impressive. Man, he's just rocking like a real rock star here, hands down. He's no light rock, elevator music crap. His later years, he's a pure rocker here. And if you heard this first, you'll really like Neil Diamond, hands down. All right, that's all I've got to say. Thanks. Bye.